Hey peeps, it's your Uncle Mongrel here, just giving you a shout out about Reaper Apparel Company. They are sponsors of the show and of me personally. So do me a favor, go check them out at reaperapparelco.com. Some great motivational, inspirational designs, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, flannels. Check them out, man. Really cool stuff. I just got mine in the mail yesterday, and I will be posting some pictures of that as well. You got t-shirt sizes up to 4XL, guys. Okay, I'm a big boy and I need the 4XL, and there's a lot of these design companies that don't have clothes our size. These guys go all the way up to 4XL. Check them out, and reaperapparelco.com, and use promo code Uncle Mongrel, and you'll get an extra 10% off. All right, that's it. Peace. Whatever I say, you let it roll just like I used to with Raw, the podcast.
Yeah.
So
I'm rubber, you're glue. Bounce off you.
I would bounce off
sticks
the other
on
guys.
me, and I go with the flow.
I'm the one that's having to plan. Okay.
Oh man.
Oh look, we're recording.
We're recording.
Hey everybody, it's Eric
And Robin.
and this is Stewart Perspective. All right, so this is episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yeah, and this week something exciting happened. The 2022 midterms happened. Yay! So that happened. Moving on.
Or didn't happen.
Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. Not moving on.
All right.
So obviously the first half of this is going to be our serious topics, and there's not a whole lot of them out there other than midterms. So let's just dive into it. Of course, they all said it was going to be a red wave, right? You know, but I think they just
Red wave, red tsunami.
red
was
tsunami.
more like
I'm like, dude, it's a tidal
ripple.
wave. It's a little tidal surge. That's it. You know, and you know, a lot did happen, but I think they put too much emphasis on things, and just like the other side really denigrates themselves, so that if they
put too much emphasis on what?
on it being a wave. They pumped it up way too much.
They did. They said it was going to be a wave. It's going to be a tsunami.
Yeah, and then of course the Democrats, they put too much woe into it, so that if anything did go wrong, they can say, "See, we told you so," you know. And
exactly, we knew this was going to happen.
we knew this was going to happen.
But then they could also say, "Oh, that wasn't so bad."
Yeah. I was like, why don't everybody just go into it and just give it the best shot you can with the information and what you and your party are going to do or want to do. Mm-hmm. You know? And then one day, maybe we'll have an independent that can come in and has a bigger message than both of you guys.
Well, the message that the Republicans just kept getting out there that was the economy, crime.
Yeah, and border.
Yeah, the border was a big one, but more than that was crime.
The crime was, and it's still a huge one.
Well, it is huge,
Still
but
huge one.
it didn't seem to resonate as much as we thought. Or like all these Democrats and Democrat-run cities that have this high crime rate that we see every day on TV. They voted those people right back in.
Yeah, it's like just right off the top there, New York. Everybody that was complained about, that drove the city to the condition is now, where there is crime every single day in the subway, and not just pickpockets. And these people are being pushed off in front of the trains.
Yeah, people are getting beat the crap out of.
That one lady damn near lost her eye and her eyesight, and now her job's in jeopardy and everything else like that.
Yeah, you can be minding your own business, and you just get somebody come up behind you and just beat the what out of you. And, I would be totally afraid to go down there.
Yeah.
I would be totally afraid to go down there.
Yeah, this crime on the streets and stuff has been one of the major factors for people leaving the city. What did they say? In August alone, they had over 50,000 people leave the city just in August. So, I don't know. Yep. I don't want to tell them. They could have got Hochul out of there and put Zeldin in, who was all about stopping the crime, getting the city back to a safe status.
Yeah. So the problem there again is all of the conservative people who are sick of the crime have moved out of the state.
That's true.
They've moved out of the state altogether. So all you have left in these large cities, such as New York City, are the people who are committing the crime and the people who are benefiting off all of the welfare policies. So they're voting. So they're voting the Democrats back in because they're getting everything they want. And so pretty soon it's just going to be all the crazies that are running the state there.
Yeah, well, we were up there in New England for on and off for 7 years, and I met lots of people from the New York area, and I even wanted to go down to New York City and stuff while we were up there. But as the crime started increasing and stuff like that, I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't want to go near the city. I got friends over in Long Island that I would love to go see, but I don't even want to get that close.
I don't even want to get that close.
I don't want to get that close, you know? I don't know what to do for those guys up there. If that's what you want, then you get what you want. I think Zeldin would have been a hell of a change for New York. I think he really would have straightened out the crime situation and got it to where the cities were safe. People just walking down the street, even in the more influential parts of the city, are now finding the crime on their seat. They go out to walk their dang dogs and stuff like that, and they have to keep.
Well, the crime and the homelessness and the mentally ill people who are out walking around, they're now having to watch out for that.
Pooping on the sidewalks and everything else. Pooping. Pretty soon, New York will be like. Anyway, anyway, that's a whole nother story too. Anyway, New York, hey, congratulations.
Congrats.
Hope
it does you well.
You got what you wanted. Man, I think they were saying that Zeldin might look at a senatorial run maybe in 2 years. We're not up there. We're not going to vote for him, but man, he's a heck of a guy. And I like a lot of stuff he's putting out there to try and sell. But apparently,
good luck to him.
New York's not buying.
They're not. No wonder.
Yeah, just keep being the dumpster fire that you are. Yeah, good job.
Who moved my dumpster?
Get away from my dumpster. Oh, so from New York, we're going to move down to, Pennsylvania, because we talked about Fetterman. And,
those people.
Wow. And I think there's a lot with the voting policies in Pennsylvania. Early voting started on September 19th. September 19th.
Yeah.
They had almost 1 million votes in before the Oz and Fetterman debate on October 24th. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, his strategy worked.
It worked, didn't it? Yeah.
It did. It totally worked to get, as many people to vote before you pull back the curtain. So to speak.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He is merely my assistant. Right.
Which is kind of funny since he was running against someone with the last name of Oz. Pretty funny.
See what you did there?
But it worked for him. And so I think he had just enough votes that he needed before he had that debate. And a lot of people kind of saw what was going on and may have even changed their minds. But hey, it's too late now.
Yeah, no, I saw a lot of independent stuff. Of course, I saw a lot of stuff on Fox, a lot of stuff on some other channels, but a lot of independent stuff on YouTube and stuff where people were interviewed who said they saw the debate and were upset that they had already placed their vote and they wish they had their votes back. So, again, that's your voting policy. That's what you wanted. That's what you got.
Right.
And live with it.
I sincerely hope that Fetterman does okay. I hope that he's not under a lot of stress with this job because that can cause another stroke.
Yeah.
This could literally kill him.
Yeah, honestly, for his health.
But it seemed like a lot of people didn't care about that part of it. They just wanted him to run. They wanted their yes man.
His handlers, even his wife.
His family.
I mean, when Pop had his first one, that was a major, major stroke for him, scared the ever-living hell out of me. And I wanted to do everything I could in the world to protect that man. And to see everybody just continue to push him out there, and it seems like, his wife may be very great for him, but at the same time, even with my injuries and stuff, nothing related to stroke, you wouldn't let me get into a position that would hurt me further.
Right.
But
on the other hand, if you're married to a guy who has a pretty good chance of becoming a senator, are you going to... I mean, it's kind of like Biden and his wife.
Oh, God, yeah.
If you say, I have a really good chance of being the first lady, am I going to tell my husband, no, you shouldn't do this?
I mean... Man, that tastes weird.
I'm thinking the life of a politician and the life of a politician's wife. They're sometimes just as in it as their husbands are.
True.
They want to be...
True.
Just as much, in that limelight or in that place. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm not saying that these people are actually like that in real life. I don't know them, but I can only imagine.
True story. I still think that's elder abuse with Biden. Some of the stuff that you see, I'm like, wow, man. And I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him just to see face to face just how fluent and
Biden or Fetterman?
Both of them.
Both of them together, they could finish each other's sentences because they'd have to. But it's sad. But I feel bad for the guy. But, I just think that really the people around him and the people in government around him just really they knew that he would probably be their yes guy. Here, sign this.
Yeah.
Here, sign this.
Get him in there. And if we need another yes, you're going to sign it.
Yeah.
You're going to sign on,
he's not going to fight real hard against us because he's not really going to understand what we're doing anyway.
Or they can hold it over. We got you in here. We can get you out. You know what I mean? There are all kinds of machines.
So I definitely think that Oz should hang in there. And, maybe next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a 6-year term, isn't it?
Yeah,
is it 6 years? Yeah. 6 years.
6 years.
A long time. I only give the damn president 4.
6 years.
Why?
You guys got Fetterman for 6 years.
Are you kidding me?
6 years. Hey, Oz, maybe go run for mayor in his old town and see if you can improve that and start over. There's an idea. Follow his footsteps.
Yeah.
Worked for him.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Well, since we're talking about Pennsylvania, they elected a guy who's dead.
Oh, geez, I forgot about that.
And I the more I think about it, it could be because, again, their early voting starts so early that a lot of people had already voted for him, and he died in mid-October.
He died in mid-October.
And he ended up winning. I mean, I'd hate to be the person he was running against. Who'd you lose against? A dead guy.
Yeah, that's got to feel horrible.
No.
You told me about that one, and he was a lifer, wasn't he? He was in there for like 30 years as a senator for Pennsylvania, wasn't he? You don't remember either.
I don't remember. All I remember is he's dead and he won.
And he won. That says a lot for Pennsylvania right there.
I mean, I'd like to know how many votes he had before he passed, and how many he got after he passed.
I don't think there's any way you can figure that out. Well, you could. They're
dated.
You could. I mean, envelopes are dated, so you should be.
Well,
able
plus,
to
when you go in and do your ballot, early voting, it should timestamp it, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Timestamp and date it to say this.
I don't know what else their policies are for.
I don't know how they vote in Pennsylvania. It's crazy. I know that. But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to know.
That would be interesting to find out because
if he got more votes after he died, that means a couple things. That means they really didn't want the person that was going against him, or people just don't pay attention and they didn't know he was dead.
They are how did I call it? They are oh my God. Swiss cheese brain. Swiss cheese brain.
They can be that too. They can be that too.
Oh, blissfully ignorant.
Blissfully ignorant.
Blissfully ignorant.
I'm just voting for people whose names I know. I've heard of this guy. Yeah, I'll vote for him.
Blissfully ignorant, very complacent, or completely happy with mediocrity.
Well, I think a lot of people are, and kind of judging from a lot of these elections that we just saw, I really think they are. I think they're okay with their politicians being so outwardly
chemo brain
politicians. They're so outwardly, I mean, just crooked and just horrible people, you know. I mean, when you're okay with, you know, for, you know, just say, you know, a guy who tried to kill his wife or beat his wife or ran over his wife with his car, or what, I mean, when you're okay with people who do that kind of stuff and you keep voting them back in, people are okay with that nowadays. I mean, I know back in the 60s and 70s, you know, they came out and said, oh, well, you know, this guy, we found out that he met another woman besides his wife out for dinner, you would kick him out of town.
Yeah.
You know? And now it's like, so he did a whole bunch of drugs and got high and was running around naked. Whatever.
Are we talking about Hunter Biden?
No, but if the shoe fits. But
the food shit's wearing it.
You know, and what gets me, speaking of Hunter Biden, sorry, you're going to send me on a tangent.
Oh, here we go.
If people don't think that anything that he's done in his life affects who his father is or vice versa. I mean, you have a guy whose father was vice president and now is president doing all this stuff with foreign countries for companies that he knows nothing about what they do. And he's making millions and millions of dollars off of that.
Yeah.
Are your synapses not firing correctly in your brain if you don't think that that has something to do with who his father is?
Absolutely.
I mean, see, that right there tells me that people are like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that goes beyond the blissfully ignorant.
Yeah.
That goes beyond the complacency. That is enjoying mediocrity.
Yeah. It is. It's like
welcoming the crooked.
I can't believe that everybody isn't going, wait a minute. We've got questions and we need to have Biden answer those damn questions instead of running and hiding the way he has been for the past 2 years of his presidency and the year or two before that too. Yeah. Where he hid from everything.
People need to get comfortable with saying, hold up, I have questions.
Exactly. And people need to answer them. They shouldn't just be able to say, oh, well, I'm going to leave that up to Congress to figure out if they want to do that.
Circle back to that.
I'm going to circle back.
When? The 12th of never? All right.
Yeah. I mean, you should have to answer the goddamn questions.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people always say, oh, the politicians work for us. Do they?
Do they?
Do they?
Do they? I don't know.
Because I don't see that happening. I see them doing what they want to do, making the money they want to make, not listening to their constituents and doing what their constituents want, because half the time they don't, I mean, 3/4 of the time they do exactly the opposite of what the people really want.
Yeah.
You know, but then on the other hand, when it's time to vote these people out, they vote them right back in. So what do you do?
I don't know.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
I don't know. One thing's for sure, like I've always said, that no matter who it is in office, no right, left, middle, whatever, none of them honestly truly give absolutely two shits about you or me or anybody down here on the ground.
Right.
And whatever they choose to do is not going to change the fact that tomorrow morning we have to get up and figure out how we're going to pay the bills, put food on the table, and just live our life.
Right.
So when you finally get somebody who wants to stand up there and actually talk the message and be for the person that has to do that every day, then you might have somebody that everybody can follow.
Yeah. Well, and you better watch out with, I just want to get up every day. I got to pay attention to my life and do what I need to do for my family, because the people that you put in office are affecting that.
Yeah, true.
And one day you could wake up and go, ooh, wait a minute. My way of life and everything I've worked for has been turned upside down because of the policies that these people are putting into place while I was out making a living and not paying attention. Mm-hmm. So
it's just, let's just talk about food for a second. Okay. The cost of freaking food. We were eating steaks. Mm-hmm. I think we had one steak yesterday or the other day, and that's the first steak we've had in
actual steak, months. And it was tiny.
It was tiny, okay? It was tiny. And it came in one of these food box things. We're not saying a name unless they want to pay us some money. So we went to chicken, then we went to ground turkey, and even sliced meats and stuff are expensive. It's so bad we went to the Hutto Hippo Cafe the other day, and I wanted a turkey sandwich or a club sandwich. And I had that in my brain, and I wanted that sandwich. I wanted to taste it with the bacon and the turkey and everything like that. And the guy's like, we don't have the club turkey sandwich right this minute because turkey's really expensive, and we don't have any right now.
Yeah, we're out of turkey.
It's a restaurant. Jack the price up on your damn sandwich or get it off the menu.
Get a turkey. Well, in this day and age, though, they didn't have ketchup either, okay? They had 4 bottles of ketchup, and all 4 of them had maybe a tablespoon of ketchup, and I asked, can we get some more ketchup? This is all we have. We don't get ketchup. Hopefully it'll be here Monday in our order when they drop everything off. And it's like, okay, here's the deal. You're like 2 miles from a Walmart. If you are out of something like ketchup, they sell the big, huge cans of it. Go buy a couple and have, and deal with it until but you're telling people come in there, they get hamburgers and French fries.
Yeah.
What do you want with hamburgers and French fries?
Ketchup.
You want ketchup.
Yeah.
But they had to tell everybody, I'm sorry, we don't want ketchup.
I ended up having to use mayonnaise and mustard the French way for my French fries.
French fries with the French way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, everything is so expensive, but even, like he was just saying, where a couple years ago, we had steaks almost every night. Not like wonderful, great top of the line steaks, but we had steaks that were really good, and we could eat that almost every night because they were not as expensive. And, they were affordable. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, what? I can't afford that. That's a light bill.
Yeah.
So we went and started eating chicken. And then our dog got sick, and the vet said, feed him boiled chicken and rice. Yeah. And I went to get chicken, and I almost cried.
He was eating
better than we were.
He was eating better than us. So we were paying more for his meals than our own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, you better enjoy this, buddy.
A thing of, good quality. I didn't want to feed him, crappy, just throw the chicken together and put it in a thing. It was good quality chicken breast, but it was like almost $20.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy. So we stopped eating chicken for a long time, and we had just been eating ground turkey. Well, he only got it for like a week, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry, you're done. Can't do that anymore. Yeah, we spent like $80 on chicken breast that week that we had to do that. So, yeah, very expensive, and we're only 2 people. I can't imagine if, you're a married couple and you have like 2, 3, 4 kids.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how you're eating. I don't know how you're doing it.
God love you.
Or how you're feeding your family, but still have the lights on or whatever. I really feel for the people in the Northeast where we are not going to be this winter, thank goodness, because of their heating oil and how much it's going to cost them to heat their home.
We're from Texas, and we could fill up a 500-gallon tank of propane and stuff like that, and that would last a whole year. Growing up, that's what we were used to. Up there, we had a 500-gallon tank. And on a regular year, when things were going good and the economy was good, we still spent $3,000 a year for the propane for heating the house.
Yeah.
Because
$1,000 every 4 months.
Yeah.
And that was like, we had a 500-gallon tank, but they only would usually put about 400 gallons in it. So that's $3,000, and it's going to go up by more than that. They're going to be, they're probably projecting people are going to spend, if we were spending $3,000, we probably would have been spending about $4,500 to $5,000 this year because of how much that is going to, that equates across the whole year Yeah, and
crap.
when you think about it, that's going way up. But so is everything else they're having to buy in the winter and having to do in the winter. So I feel
that's
really
like an
bad
extra
for a lot of those
$400
people.
a month on top of your bills.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people up there that can definitely afford it, but there's a lot of people that are barely making it on a normal when it's normal prices. For everything. So
God love you up there in the north, but this winter we're down here.
But you know what? Y'all reelected you Democrats.
You did.
It's like
you did.
I don't know what to do for you. It's like the Republicans want to try to change things for you, but I think you're just so.
And then that's for me is the oddity of looking at all of the Northeast and everything up there. And they all reelected all the Democrats. So then you get down to like Georgia, where it was such a split vote that I know you found it was 49-49 for Walker and what's his name, Warnock. And you found there was an independent that pulled in 89,000 votes.
It was it 80-something thousand? I can't remember the exact number, but it's close.
So now they're going to have the runoff. And those people are going to have to decide. That's where the votes are going to come from.
So those are the ones that you're going to want to go after.
Here's what gets me is they voted in Republican governor and then split their vote and voted for the Democratic Warnock. So that's not blissfully ignorant. That's people that are...
Yeah.
Hey, we want this guy for governor, but
they checked off the R for governor, but then when they got down to
the Warnock, I'm like, they knew it. So these are really split.
Yeah, the people are really split. What I saw on a lot of these races was they were just incredibly, incredibly close. Some of them so close we don't even know who the winner is today.
Still,
there's still four of them out there for Senate.
We're recording this on Friday, the Friday after the Tuesday. Election.
3 days after, and we still don't know. The winners of some of these. People are they're divided.
Yeah,
they really are, and I'm not sure exactly why it's so divided between Warnock and Walker, except for maybe the fact that Walker, football player, hasn't ever been a politician. May not exactly know. Everything, but those are all the guys that I'm like, let's get him in there.
Let's give him a shot.
Yeah, let's get him in there. Those are, when it's the guy that, I'm a politician and I know how everything works. That's when you go,
Yeah, I don't trust those type of people.
Yeah,
but I know that there's questions about Walker, some of his past and stuff. But no, those questions were there before. Those questions were there before, and they're still there. And you got to either give the guy a break or not. So. At least half the people wanted to give the guy the benefit of the doubt and give him the shot. And now I can see between now and then Warnock's going to be hitting the personal attacks about Walker the whole time up to December 6th. That's all I can see that Warnock. That's all he's going to be doing. So for me, Walker's going to have to take the higher ground. And not come back with personal attacks and not feed into the personal attacks. Continue with the message you said. I've already said what I've said about that. It's fake. It's false. Whatever.
You're right.
Which also it came out when most of
like a week or two before.
Yeah.
Why wait?
The new ones came out right there at the end. It's like Kavanaugh with all the women that came out of the woodwork. Oh, really? Are you sure?
Right.
Anyway, that's a whole other side tangent.
That was one of my biggest things. It's like, why now? If this was really an issue for you, whoever this woman, women, whatever, if this was really, why wait till right now? Did they know about you 6 months ago? But they said, you know what? We're gonna hold on and not say anything about this. And see, and then they got a couple weeks before and they're like, the polls are showing that he actually could have an edge on us. So we need to go ahead and bring this woman out and tell them here's another one. But once again, I wondered, how do you prove? How do you prove it? How do you prove that? Okay, say you're a woman and you come to a guy and you say, I got pregnant by you and I went and had an abortion. and I'm going to tell your whole family. It's like, hey, how do you prove it's mine? Number one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, any woman could say that to any man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So how do you prove it? Yeah. I mean, I could go up to any star in the world. Hey, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got pregnant by you. And he'd be like, who are you? And I was like, hey, don't you remember me? You were drunk and we slept together. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Oh, whatever. So. Yeah. I question that.
So, yeah. Yeah. And I know there's a bunch of, if anybody out there listens arguing about or yelling, screaming about the abortion right thing and stuff. And that's a whole can of worms that we're not going to open up in this podcast, because there's all kinds of feelings about that, you know, and it's some of it's personal, and we don't want to discuss that on the air. And should be personal for each one of you, you know, if you.
Don't talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it. Okay,
it's
too much of a can of worms. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to what I was saying, Walker. You know, Warnock's going to go with the personal attacks about Walker. Walker needs to take the higher ground and not fall into the trap of talking about that stuff. He needs to push the message that this is about building up the Senate to the Republican side, and getting rid of Biden's led Senate, Democratic led Senate. Right. You know, so it's more Republican led, and we have the majority in the Senate as well. That's what his race is really biggest about.
Yes, and we need another thing about runoffs is getting all those people again to go vote.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean,
how many
they're ramped up. They're ramped up for it because they're going to go and because they were voting for the governor at the same time. They were voting for all these other things. And now you're going to get all these people ramped up again in a month to go and vote again. That's something else that he has to really put out there. It's like, you Republicans, you conservatives, even if you're not a Republican, you can still be a conservative and not be a Republican. So, if you care about this at all, then please vote. You know, you got to get out there, because if you don't, they will.
Yeah.
You know, and then who knows where you're going to be then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like what was it? Rush just said that even if you choose not to choose, you still have made a choice. So, you know.
Yeah. That doesn't help anybody. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm just not going to vote."
Well, that doesn't help anybody. You've made a choice there, and you've taken a vote. You've taken a vote away from not just one, but both of these guys now.
Right.
And you were a vote that could have pushed one of them over the other.
Yeah. Because even if you're like, "Oh, well, I really don't want either one." Well, set them both down in front of you, on a piece of paper, and figure out, of the two, which one mostly hits all of your wants, needs, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get perfect, because none of them are perfect. Not any of them. I don't care who they are. But you just got to kind of say, pro and con, which one would I want in there over the other one, looking at it that way. So, it just doesn't do any good to not vote at all, like any of them. There was actually
what?
A couple races that I saw. I was looking on my Fox News app for the races and stuff, and it shows you all of the running, how many votes they got, and who ran, and all that information. And there's actually a couple of them I saw where one of the things to choose was none of these.
What?
Yeah, it was like none of these. There's like a Republican running, a Democrat, and like 2 or 3 independents. And there was actually 10,000 or 20,000 people that voted for none of these.
Oh, write-ins for none of these? Oh my God, really?
It just said none of the. I'm like, no.
That's not
no.
It's not a vote.
You cannot do that.
It's not a vote.
So anyway, yeah, interesting facts. Okay, moving on.
One last thing for this one here, and that is our beloved Texas. We are back in Texas now, back home, and Beto.
Robert Francis.
Yeah, Nacho governor.
For the third time.
Third-time loser. 3-time loser, professional politician. That's what it was.
Professional politician.
All he does is make money trying to be a candidate.
Yeah.
They said he profited like $173 million this cycle. Are you
Wow.
kidding?
I think
you
we need to
me?
start running for something,
Are you
honey.
kidding me? Yeah, would you guys vote for me so I can start getting money and stuff, whatever?
Well, just get up in front of people and say, I'm going to take all their guns. And I guarantee you, just saying that, you'll have a bunch of people vote for you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, don't tell anybody how you're going to do anything. You know, just I'm going to do it.
And I'm calling this guy like a professional politician, and because all he does is campaign. 3 times now he's campaigned for this. He's made money each time. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, think about this, people. This man doesn't really want to be elected. Because then he'd actually have to freaking do something.
He'd have to do it.
And then I don't think he knows what he would do or how to get anything done. I think he just enjoys the fact that all he's got to do is do a magazine spread or whatever, you know.
Right. Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair, yeah. And collect his money and just throw shade.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe like one day he decided to run for something and people started just like throwing money at him.
Yeah.
And he kind of went, well, wait, I can just like say I'm running and a couple things I believe and people give me money.
Yeah.
You know, millions and millions of dollars for me to spend however I want.
Yeah.
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 And then he just said, well, I'm going to keep doing this because even when I lose, people still give me money.
Yes, Robert Francis, you are a 3-time loser. Go away, please. Do not come back.
Yeah.
Abbott may not be everybody's favorite, but I personally believe he has a lot of Texas's best in his heart. Mm-hmm. He wants the best for the state of Texas and the people in it. Mm-hmm. And there's no way you can make everybody happy. Right. So those of you that don't like Abbott, hey, I get it. It's your right.
It is your right, and that's why we have the voting system.
But
so that people, can vote people out that they don't like. Yeah. It's what they call the popular vote, and he just isn't popular enough with the state of Texas. But hey, New York and California keep on moving in. One of these days, Beto, keep running.
Yeah.
All of these liberals from these other states, at some point, maybe you'll make it. Maybe you will.
I don't mind people coming to from California or New York to Texas. I don't mind that at all. I really don't. Just do us all a big favor. Leave your politics at the state line. Yeah. Get settled. Get to know the people around you. Feel the room. What is the general consensus of your friends and neighbors in your new community?
Yeah.
And work with that. Don't come in with your preconceived concepts and ideas from your failing states and cities in these other parts of the country and bring them to Texas. You know, we got our own mess of trouble to deal with, and you're adding more to the mix.
Right. I mean, I know that a lot of the people from California that have moved to different parts of Texas have come because their jobs relocated them here. Yeah. A lot of these big
Tesla
companies,
yes.
Moved and said, well, guess what? Going to Texas. If you want to stay with us, you got to come this direction. And that's all fine, but just realize that you're going to a new place. And like you just said, get to know how everybody around you feels and how we as Texas feel about our state. Yeah.
You're coming in here and you're having to integrate into our existing communities and society and stuff like that. So integrate and learn from the people around you, and don't come in with your preconceived concepts and ideas and think you need to change these backwoods Texas country bumfucks. Sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, so as far as that, congratulations, Abbott. And Robert Francis, you, sir, may piss right off. All right. The only other things I had in the Texas stuff here was, District 34 down there. What the freaking hell? Mayra Flores, the first Mexican-born female Republican to win a special election and flip a blue Democratic seat for the first time in 100 years. She wasn't in for 5 months. Mm-hmm. You guys did not come back out and show up for her at the polls during midterms.
I think she lost by 10,000 votes.
52% to 44%.
Yeah.
That's freaking shame on you. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Because what was the next one over with Dela Cruz?
Dela Cruz, yeah.
What was her? District 15, I think, or whatever? Dela Cruz? Yeah, District 15. Monica Dela Cruz. She won a Republican seat. Flipped a blue seat that hadn't been flipped in 100 years. She won 53% to 44%. That should have been Myra's numbers. And then they also had Casey Garcia in District 28 that if you had shown up for her, would have flipped a blue seat to red. She lost 56 to 43. You would have had 3 strong Hispanic females taking on the seats for the southern part of the state, and I personally believe they would have kicked ass. Mm-hmm. I really do. Now you've got 1 strong one and 3 Democratic men, or 2 Democratic men. So it's 2 men, 1 woman down there now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Cuellar, Henry Cuellar, he's a what do you call it? Like a moderate Democrat. I actually like a lot of the things I've heard from him. I mean, he is the guy that was asking the president to come to the border and see what's going on. Yeah. He was like, there is a crisis here. We need help down here.
And today he still has not come to the border. Yeah.
No, none of them have.
Neither has the border czar herself.
None of them have.
Yeah. Oh, wait, she went to El Paso.
It's ridiculous.
That's El Paso. That's not. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, way to go, Texas. I think you guys I really think I kind of screwed the pooch down there in those 3 districts.
You got it right in some places. And
I honestly was really excited about Mayra Flores at that special election, and everything that she's had to say was spot on with what I've heard.
And wasn't her husband he's a border agent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her finger on the pulse of what needed to be done to protect and take care of her district. And the people did not show up. Now, I don't know. I'm not from District 34, so I don't know how her advertising campaign, did they spend enough money to get her message out there to get the people back? And if they didn't, then Myra, shame on you and your team. But I'm also shame on the people because 5 months previously, 5 months. How did you forget in 5 months? And we're worried about people coming back for the runoff in December for Warnock and Walker.
Yeah.
So in 5 months, the people that overwhelmingly voted this woman in let her down, and she's out. Mm-hmm. Anyway, wow, man, that was. Oh wait, we wanted to end on the possibility of Desantis.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna end the serious side of this thing talking about congratulations to Florida. They flipped everything red. Yeah. Everything red. Marco Rubio, congratulations.
The tidal wave hit them and then stopped. Lost all of its speed and turned into a trickle.
Once again, the peninsula protected the rest of the country.
It didn't get any farther than Florida.
That's where the red tsunami stopped. Right there. That's why it was just a little tidal surge for the rest of everybody else. But
it was like the butterfly effect, but it kind of okay.
Yeah, and DeSantis, man, what an
awesome showing for him.
Awesome showing for him, and honestly, we spent several months in the height of the pandemic down in Florida, and I can tell you, with the rest of the country freaking out, and we had left Tennessee, and the Tennessee was freaking out about the COVID thing, but I was in a position where I was in everybody's house every day. I was told I had to be there. I was told I was a frontline employee, and I had to be out there to get everybody their internet service so they could work from home.
But got none of the benefits.
I got none of the benefits of being a frontline employee. Are you freaking kidding me?
It wasn't even one of the people that would get their shot first.
Yeah, no, I was in third.
The third grouping.
The third grouping. That's standard everybody. Okay. Here's what got me. I was a contractor. The company was supposed to provide me PPE. Is that it? Personal protective equipment? Yeah. And I got 2 disposable masks and was told to take them home and wash them every night. It's a disposable freaking mask, you morons. The gloves I got, oh my God, $1 mil shitty lunch lady gloves.
And you're working with strands of fiber.
Do you understand the work I do? Oh, you freaking morons.
It was amazing. And to go and buy your own was impossible because nobody was selling latex gloves because they were all going to the hospitals and doctors and stuff. The only place that we could find any, we found, 1 or 2 boxes at the auto parts store.
Well, we started out with Lowe's and the Spider gloves, the Spider X gloves.
Yeah.
And Walmart ended up having a bunch of them. So we bought a bunch from them. We bought some from Lowe's. We bought a bunch from Walmart.
Yeah, I happened to go into the paint section at Walmart one day and found about 6 boxes of them.
Those were 9mm nitrile gloves, and they are freaking amazing. I still got a bunch of them. But then those dried up. And then you couldn't even order those online because they ran out of the medical nitrile. So they were sending those to take care of the medical people. And I'm glad you got them.
And if you could find them, they were like $100 a box.
Yeah, it got ridiculous. So then we ended up, we ran around to every single auto parts store we could find, and I found the extra large 9mm nitrile gloves, the mechanic gloves.
The Ravens
were one, and there were a couple other odd brands and stuff, but we bought those all out, and then those didn't come back. So
and masks you couldn't find at that time, and so we ended up getting the
little neck scarves that you pull up over and use those.
You look like a bandit.
Yeah. And then we had to mix our own, Swiss cheese brain. Sanitizer.
Yeah, we had to make our own
sanitizers. So it was a cluster fuck in Tennessee.
It
and
really was.
We finally had enough, and I had an opportunity to go to Florida and work in construction splicing. I would set up a tent and a table and I would splice, man. And Victor, buddy, I love you. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish it had panned out for both of us.
Yeah.
So that got us to Florida, and we were right in the height of the pandemic. And I'm going to tell you, Florida did it right.
Right. We spent a month in Juno Beach. And what, about a month or 2?
2 months.
2 months in Tallahassee. And we did not find any place that we couldn't go that wasn't open, that wasn't serving food, that wasn't packed to the gills. In Florida, packed to the gills. Yeah. I mean, you would never have known.
Yeah. Everybody was working. Everything was open. Everybody was taking precautions. And everybody was respectful of it, except for the one jackass that was driving the Bentley and parked in a handicapped parking space at the Publix so he didn't have to walk that far, and then got to the door and got upset because they told him to go back and get a mask on. He had to go back to his car to get a mask on. He wasn't handicapped, maybe mentally, but he was not handicapped. He did not deserve that parking space.
He didn't have anything on his car saying he was.
Are a douchebag.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, it was great, the whole time, and we didn't, know anybody that got sick. We, didn't ever hear of anything, or, I mean, it was done very well.
Very well in Florida. They did it right. So DeSantis deserves all the credit that he's received for that.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
He did.
And now everybody's discussing him making a possible run in 2024.
Yeah.
And maybe running against Donald Trump. Now, that brings in a lot of things, a lot of questions you asked me before.
Is that going to go down on the WWE?
Maybe.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah. Pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view fight. Yeah.
That's right.
Welcome to the ultimate cage match. Yes. Trump versus DeSantis.
Woo! That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sunday. Yes.
But, we were discussing that. And I asked Eric, I said, okay, think about this. Trump, DeSantis, they're running for president.
The GOP nomination.
We really I'm sorry. Yeah. We got to choose one to run for the tamale, right? And we really like Trump. I mean, like you were saying earlier about Abbott, not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody likes him, but his policies were amazing. You have to admit his policies were amazing. Like I've said before, felt safe, prices were low. I could afford all my bills. I could afford
cheap.
everything.
We were energy independent. We were selling petroleum to the rest of the world, which brought the price down on the rest of the world. So everybody else was enjoying it too.
Right.
As does America, so does the world.
Yeah. So, I didn't feel like we were, on our hands and knees to all the other weirdo dictators and what the muck.
They were all quiet.
You didn't hear nothing.
They were in their place, and because they didn't know about the Orange Man.
Right.
They were like, this guy is just crazy enough.
Yeah, right. We finally had a guy as crazy as them.
Yeah, and
but he was good for us, and I honestly believe that he really cared about the American people and what was going on. Now, he might have gone home at night and said, those stupid Americans, they love me. How aren't they stupid? But
you can throw whatever stories you want to, but I've heard just as many stories from people that have worked for him for years. I've heard stories from electricians that had met him one time as he was doing a walkthrough of one of these buildings that was under construction, and he stopped and asked an electrician, what do you think? How do you think about things that are going on here? And the electrician said, well, honestly, I don't like how they're doing this. I would have done this. And Trump said, thank you, and walked away. 2 days later, the project manager came to the electrician and they implemented his changes. Mm-hmm. So Trump cared and he listened to the people that knew what was going on. And I've said this before. We're old school Gen X, okay? And we were brought up rough and tough, and sticks and stones may break my bones. Words will never hurt me, so don't throw any sticks and stones because I'll kick your ass, That's how we were. Words don't mean crap to us, He's the mean man, okay? The mean man with his tweets. I don't care. I had $1.89 gas. I had steak on my table. Mm-hmm. It was good. We were safe. We felt good in our country. We were proud of our country. All right? So, you may not like him, but you got to admit, policies and the state of the nation under him were better than it had been in 40 freaking years. Mm-hmm. 40 years, okay? Mm-hmm. So, that being said, I concede there are people out there that do not like his attitude. And I get that. It's hard for me to kind of understand that. I spent 33 years in an industry with type A personalities. So, I grew up being a rough and tough Gen Xer, and I've worked with people where I have to have thick skin. Yeah. So it doesn't bother me, and I don't. And
after the last election, if you asked people, why don't you like Trump or why didn't you vote for him? And most of them said, well, I don't like his ego. I don't like his attitude. Had nothing to do with him as a president and the job he did.
Yeah.
So you're going to go and you're going to elect the guy we have now, who's killing it. Yeah, literally killing everything.
Captain.
Because you didn't like a guy's ego, or you didn't like, the way the tone of orange in his face was. Yeah. Whatever you could come up. I didn't like the way he tweeted all the time. What the hell? Right. Who cares? Ignore it. Ignore it. He was a good president.
Yeah, he was.
In my opinion. Yeah.
And that is an opinion. It's
my opinion. I'm sure there's 100 people out there that would look at me and go, you're crazy. What are you talking about? But in my opinion, he was a good president because I felt like we were, as Americans, we always want to think that, we're the greatest. America's the greatest. Yeah. It may be our ego.
Yeah.
America's the greatest. We have the greatest people. We have the greatest this. We're number one at this. We always want to think that. And right now, 50-something% of us, or over 50-something% of us, don't think so.
75% of the country believe it's going in the wrong
direction.
Wrong direction. Yet you voted all the Democrats back in.
Yet you voted them all back in. There were a few that flipped. There was a few that went a different direction. There's a few, with your...
And that's the little the small title surge we were talking about.
Yeah. Just there were some. It didn't all go the Democrats' direction, but it wasn't like you were looking at a nation whose everything was going crazy. that everything's off the wall. Crime is crazy and all these, one of the things that people griped until I was about ready to throw myself against the wall and knock myself out was the student loan forgiveness. Oh my God, let's gripe about this. This shouldn't be happening. I don't want to pay these people's bills. They knew what they were getting into. They should be paying their own, blah, 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 blah. But then what do? They go and they vote the Democrats back in, who are the ones that want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, was it really that big of a deal?
We're the ones that wanted to stop that. So if that was such a big deal to everybody screaming about it, why did you vote the people in that wanted to stop it?
To stop it. If that was really the big deal that it was.
Yeah.
Or that it still is, it may not be.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be able to go through. It may not go through. We don't know what's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But it's that big question. It's like, but if you're so upset about it, then why are you voting those people back in?
I still, like I said, we're still going to, if they go through with it, I'm still going to take advantage of it. I think it's stupid. I wouldn't do it. And I honestly think he just did it to get people to come vote for all of them on the midterms.
Yeah.
And they're going to get it shot down and it's not going to go through. So it was just a trick to get you to the polls on their side.
I think so, because you can't tell me that there are people who they have within the president's circle didn't know that what he was doing was not going to hack it. How he was doing it by him just saying, I declare that this is going to happen, that it was going to go through. They didn't know, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And you have to get it done through Congress. They have to okay all this, and they're not going to, so don't even say anything about it.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
And they managed to, like Fetterman, put it off long enough in the election cycle and get it knocked down. What, 2 days? I think it was a day or 2 days after the election was when the Texas judge said,
it was yesterday.
We're blocking it. It was yesterday.
2
days after. So,
yeah.
Bravo.
All right, so we got on a tangent. Let's circle back around to our DeSantis and Trump discussion, okay?
Okay.
Because here's the thing about DeSantis. I believe he is just as tough and strong of a politician as Trump is. Mm-hmm. But I also believe he knows how to be more political about it.
Yes.
So he won't step on your toes. But just like when the hurricane came through, they tried to make it political, and he at that time stood up and said, we're not going to play that. This is about saving the people, taking care of the people. We can do a politics when this is all over. So in the heat of the moment, he can set politics aside and be strong force to do what's right for the people.
Right.
Okay? And now, that's another thing. I'm going to get on the age in just a minute, because Trump is 78. 78? Yeah, he's going to be older, but he is much more clear of mind than Biden.
Oh God! I mean, he stays up all hours.
Yeah,
he knows how to exit a stage. He remembers people's names.
He just won the LIV golf tournament, international golf tournament, for crying out loud. The man walks the course and plays the game. All right.
Yeah, they can say all they want about his health.
Yeah,
but
that man's fine.
It doesn't stand up.
But DeSantis is 44.
44.
Younger man. Mm-hmm. Younger man. Can have more time and perseverance, and you can't blame age problems on him. And here's what I say would be the optimum situation. If Trump were to put DeSantis on his ticket as his VP, all right, that's a dynamic duo. That can get some shit done.
Mm-hmm. That'd probably be unstoppable.
They would probably be an unstoppable force, and it would give DeSantis 4 years in the White House to build up his performance in that large leadership role, so that he could run for 2 more terms. So DeSantis could be in the White House working for the people for 12 years, and if that's in 2024, he'll be 46. That still puts him leaving the White House at 58. 50 freaking 8.
Still a young man. Not even old enough to get Social Security. So that'd be pretty. That would be pretty impressive. Which I question that because from DeSantis' side, is, I could do that, but would I go the way of Pence? You got to worry about that.
True, but I don't think. Okay,
that's okay. But like you said, Pence and DeSantis are two totally different personalities. Totally. I mean, Pence was the more quiet. I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do,
he was kind of the yes man.
He was definitely the more the Christian. I'm going to do what's right.
And I think DeSantis would be able to step up to Trump.
I think he would
if Trump tried to run him over as VP.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on,
to
wait a
strong
minute,
arm
sir.
him, do something.
We're going to talk for a second, sir.
Yeah.
And I think once they figured out how to work together, I think they could be a badass.
They could be. And my other point with DeSantis is, with his momentum, would he choose to run for a VP? With this momentum, he could be president.
He could. Now, and that brings us to the final question you asked the other day. Mm-hmm. If it came down to a GOP runoff, and it's DeSantis or Trump, and I have to choose, I have to choose which one I go for. I love Trump. But I totally get how he rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
I totally get how people don't like him, and he turns them off, even though he's doing great things. So they're both super strong. And in that situation, if it came down to DeSantis versus Trump, I honestly, right this minute, would say I would probably lean towards DeSantis.
Yeah. I'm going to actually go a different route and say I have to wait until I hear both sides of the story. I'm not picking either one until I start seeing, number one, if DeSantis is running, and I want to see
or if Trump's even
his
run.
views. I want to see. Well, he might totally surprise us all.
Yeah. He said he was going to do, this Tuesday or Wednesday, he's going to make the announcement that everybody's been waiting on. He could announce, I'm not going to run. One of my children's going to run. Okay?
Or I'm not going to run. I'm back in DeSantis. And together, know. And what was it? Did you say it the other night? That DeSantis should run and get president and make Trump his ambassador to Russia?
No,
was that you? Who was that?
Who was that?
Who said that? Was that of...
that was Gutfeld.
Somebody on Gutfeld. I don't think it was actually Gutfeld that said it, but I think it might have been somebody on Gutfeld that night.
Yeah, whatever.
Was it Jimmy Fela or
Fela? It was Fela. Jimmy Fela.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I was like, ooh, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be the most awesomest thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Holy crap! We beat the serious side of this to death. The goal is to try and keep the serious side to 30 or 40 minutes.
That's going to be hard.
We're sitting at an hour right this minute. This was a big one, though. This was midterms.
This was, yeah.
This was a big one. So our normal weekly thing is probably not going to be as long as this one's been. So we're going to take a commercial break. And, we have Reaper Apparel.
Apparel.
So listen to the commercial on that one. Really good stuff. Really great concepts behind their work. Anyway, sorry. And that's going to end the serious side. When we come back, we're going to get a little weird.
We're going to get a little... Oh, okay. Hang on for this.
All right. We'll be right, people. We'll be right. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Now you sound like Biden.
See ya.
Fill every gap with wild desires and a heart that hopes to catch...
Hey peeps, it's your Uncle Mongrel here, just giving you a shout out about Reaper Apparel Company. They are sponsors of the show and of me personally. So do me a favor, go check them out at reaperapparelco.com. Some great motivational, inspirational designs, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, flannels. Check them out, man. Really cool stuff. I just got mine in the mail yesterday, and I will be posting some pictures of that as well. You got t-shirt sizes up to 4XL, guys. Okay, I'm a big boy and I need the 4XL, and there's a lot of these design companies that don't have clothes our size. These guys go all the way up to 4XL. Check them out, and reaperapparelco.com, and use promo code Uncle Mongrel, and you'll get an extra 10% off. All right, that's it. Peace.